everybody knew it now. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never happen. We cannot have a meltdown.
Well, I hope you come out of your dogma snuggies for an hour, you know, in your slave complex. You've created your own personal Ponzi scheme. You've been chemtrailed. You've been GMO'd. You've been vaxxed. You've been freaking chemo'd. You ain't got a chance, right? You know, it's all God's will, you know, no personal responsibility by anyone, anyhow, anywhere. The slave complex that we live in has gone on Balco laughter. You know, nuclear is the ultimate slavery. Poisoning the water, poisoning the air via the jet stream. Fukushima is the greatest freaking slavery in the history of humanity. It is the greatest violation to human rights in the history of humanity. I love all these people. You know, you go to New York, all these idealistic people, all these people, you know, I'm at a Bernie Sanders rally, I'm at different rallies, you know, whatever, trying to get to the crux of these real issues. Fukushima is the only issue at the top of the heap. You know, cancer, 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 cancer. Oh, we're going to get a cure for cancer. Fuck the cause. It's unbelievable how everybody goes along. Everybody you talk to, everybody's a freaking human rights activist now. Oh, really? Yes, Bernie's a human rights activist. I'm a human rights activist. What? Because you work for a political platform. Anybody that's working for any political platform calls themselves human rights is a fucking fraud. Oh, I work for an NGO. Really? A nonprofit? Really? You're a fucking activist. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You know, it's like I'm in New York. I work for an NGO in the slave complex in the retail. You know, do you realize fucking how grotesque the fucking clothing industry, retail industry is to the same point? I mean, it's so fucking grotesque, whatever. And these people, oh, you know, I work for who owns the NGOs? They've hijacked it, don't you? It's like Zuckerberg. These people come out and say, I'm donating Bill Gates, I'm donating 99% of my wealth. Now look, all that simply means is they've created an NGO because they've hijacked the tax code. So what that means, you create a fucking NGO, then you could pay yourself back X amount of without paying any tax. You make the NFL's a fucking nonprofit. Just their puppet Goodell made $400 million last year. 40 million. The owners are billionaires on the thing. It's like they don't even care about winning anymore. It's like, okay, the Dallas Cowboys, the number one freaking sports franchise, and the Redskins and the Patriots. So the Redskins haven't won a playoff game in fucking, 30 years. I don't think the Cowboys have won a one playoff game in like 30 fucking years. Two of the worst fucking franchises because they don't win. Nobody can even name a player because people are so dogma and branded themselves and gone along. It's like the NCAA slave league. The NCAA basketball is the biggest slave league in the world. You have 300 frickin' teams that have bought into this NCAA slave complex. You're going to go to this tournament. Guy hit the buzzer beater last night. Oh, we're all going to be that. You can do the math. 300 times how many? So you're talking, 5 or 6, 7,000 fucking NCAA players, basketball players, which you times that by another 700,000 are aspiring to be. How many are going to go to the NBA? You know, a small teeny handful. And even if you do go to the NBA, look at what happens to those guys. You throw fucking $10 million a year. I mean, it's so grotesque what they've done to fucking sports. And everybody, it's like you listen to the game. We love sports. I mean, you know, what they run. And then you listen. I mean, please, somebody fucking, Jim Gray, I mean, that guy, please, somebody crack him in his fucking mouth. I mean, oh, God, tell us how they, I mean, and people go along with this passive-aggressive slave fucking, you know, it's like I got an argument this morning about Trump. They're so caught up in their substance. Well, Trump's over the top. He's brass. Yeah, hello. So which is worse, them or they do it freaking passive-aggressively? They do it in hairspray. And I mean, Ted Cruz, the CIA rat, was born in Canada. It blows my mind how in the Ray, the same people that were so, Obama's a freaking not born here, but Ted Cruz was not born here, and he admits it freely. He's not eligible to run for the United States. He's CIA rat as it gets. You know, if he's an evangelical, I'm a freaking astronaut. I mean, it's so over the top. You know, yeah, Trump's brass, he's loud, he goes crazy. What? So what? They're passive-aggressive. Look what they've done to you. But people still go along with this complex popping pills. Do you realize from 1979 to present, declining nominal wages every single year? That's impossible. It just keeps getting worse. It's so bad that they just open the freak. We never had a wall. It's against a lot of people cash. People go along with it. The slave complex, people are so self-indulged, they think it's good. They're exploiting someone. They think they get a cheaper price. That's exactly what you get is cheap. They know they're being exploited. I like how 11 million freaking so-called undocumented workers in this country. There's 50 million. 50 million. I mean, when I walked up the one last year, I was walking up the entire one last year, sleeping in my sleep bag. It's dangerous in those woods because that's where the Mexican immigrant freaking lives. Not only the Mexican, there's a lot. Once you get above Monterey, that's where the homeless population is gargantuous because San Diego doesn't want them anymore because San Diego County is they're the new Florida. It's a bunch of retired Michigan freaking overcompensation baby bombers that are still building houses who have ruined the entire county. So they push them up. San Francisco don't want them anymore. San Francisco's too small. They've gotten freaking to be this elite O'Neill fucking fake fucking real estate fucking techie fucking complex there. No one can afford to live there. I mean, you seen the commute in and out of that fucking city? These insane, I mean, fuck, you ain't seen commute. Try to get in and out of San Francisco. Try to have a fucking car. Even if you have a booked hotel, they will charge you $40 a night just to park your fucking car. It's $12 a fucking hour to park a car with a meter. I mean, it's insanity, total fucking insanity. So they move them back and forth. So that, you know, Monterey's accepting it. Monterey has their hostile police. They walk around in black and yellow coats that look like cops, and they're not cops. They're hostile, and they check, and they know who. When I was there, they were all over me. What are you doing here? I says, I'm walking up the fucking one. Why? I'm an environmentalist. I'm documenting the fucking coast of the ocean. Well, I know I'm not fucking homeless. I own a fucking house. I fucking, you know, this is what I'm doing. I'm documenting you, you dumb fuckers. These people are insane. You know, there's a lot of, I got up there, it's very fucking dangerous, by the way. There's fucking middle-aged homeless women. This country doesn't give a fuck. It's like how you count, look at the unemployment's doing good. Look how they count unemployment. You're not counted on the unemployment list unless you're actually actively fucking drawing unemployment. Nobody's drawing unemployment. This has gone on for so long. You got fucking look at the participation rate. It's like the media all over. Don't you love this full blown? It's just exposing the globalist rat media fucking regime going after Trump in this epic fuck. He's got. I mean, what he won. I mean, he's going to win easily, yet they're still saying the thing. They're just exposing themselves, the globalist rat regime. They just make stories up. Granted, Trump's brass, he's fucking aggressive, he's crazier than a bedbug. Yeah, good. He's blowing up the RNC, which shows you the RNC and the DNC are the exact same cabal of evil. It's a globalist rat regime. Run through Harvard Law and Yale Law. Marie Antoinette, that fucking globalist rat, that's the biggest fraud who ever fucking walked. The greatest event in human history, Fukushima. The greatest event's the cover-up of Fukushima. Pacific Ocean's dying. These people are freaking insane. They're still going to go salmon fishing. There's no salmon. I got news for you. You know, these people are gone. They're so contemporized in their me. Okay, they get up, get in their shiny coffin. You know, they've made, I got me a nice car. One person, one car. They're so fucking self-indulged, they won't even ride to work with somebody, even if their fucking roommate or their neighbor works in the same place. They're not about getting the car. Turn on their fucking radio, listen to their same dogma fucking radio talk or whatever they fucking fits their mantra. Get them some coffee, get to fucking work. Okay? Usually none of them do anything physically. They got a job where they're working for the government, or if you're young, you're washing the feet of baby boomers. You're fucking a servant. You give them massages, you serve them coffee, you serve them fucking food, and they're pigs. So you're serving pigs. That's what the young fucking usually accomplish. That's the only job there is. So you get to the fucking job. You know, most people work for the government. They sit on their fat ass. They're fucking Googling around on fucking internet, whatever, fucking thinking about what they're going to fucking have for lunch. You know, so then they eat some fucking horrible fucking food when there's lots of good choices out there. People say, oh, God, it costs so much to eat. Bullshit. Fuck, I'm all over. I'm all over. Fuck, you can eat fucking healthy so fucking cheap because I'll tell you what. You find a market that has a healthy food. Most supermarkets carry fucking healthy food. It's perishable. So they discount it. If it's getting towards the end of a shelf life, they discount it like juice fuck. You can buy fucking good fucking fresh organic fucking juice all over this country cheap. It's in the supermarkets. So, but people don't know because they're addicted to the taste of fucking hamburgers and all that, which is an addiction. It's a pure addiction. The number one addiction in this country is food. You know, second pills. So they're caught up in their fucking death spiral, keeping up with their fucking Joneses, but they keep looking at their equity in their houses. Thus, they've kept. I mean, you go back 15 years ago. Alan Greenspan's the greatest terrorist in human history. Well, besides Barack Obama. And Barack Obama passed him with the cover up of Fukushima. So, Ernest Moxie Fuel, fucking John Holdren, fucking Mitch McConnell, fucking, you know, all these politicians, every last one, they're terrorists. The cover up of Fukushima is the greatest fucking event in human history. So, you go into this dynamic, this complex, this me. Now, I get contacted by groups all the time. It's amazing how many groups will contact me. They don't talk to me, they talk to me until they need me. They need me because they know I know how to get a crowd fucking going. They know I can fucking and I'm good at it. I always have been good at it. I can gather a fucking crowd and I can get them going like you fucking don't believe. You know, the Million Mass March, all of it. You know, I've done those things because I've been asked. I get asked all the time by groups. But so, you know, it's hard to fucking decipher through who are these fucking groups. Now, I knew in detail about that group somewhat, you know, and I just kind of took that fucking movement over. You know, kind of like I did with fucking Plowshares and fucking Megan Rice. Megan Rice is a wonderful person, but the Plowshares are terribly misguided, and they've been terribly misguided, and she'll tell you. The lead, you know, nun, she'll tell you Kevin Blanch took over our movement. You Google Megan Rice, you get me, because they had the mantra, Plowshares had the mantra in their fucking head that somehow nuclear bombs are bad, nuclear energy was good. When they're the exact identical same thing, I'm like, watch me take this over. Because I knew Madeline. You know, this whole conference, they're the exact same fucking thing. I know that. So I take these movements over. That's what I do. That's a leadership quality. I've always possessed that fucking aware of it because, and do I have an agenda? Oh, fucking A, I have an agenda. Oh, you bet your ass. I mean, I'm a real grassroots human rights activist. My agenda is to take down the nuclear industry, and which I'm doing. Fucking take them fucking apart and I'm an effective activist. Look, I've been at this my whole fucking life. I've seen the problem is the fake activists. The false equivalency, the hairspray. It's just like you get an argument about Trump. Trump's brash, he's loud, he's obnoxious, he's narcissistic, he's fucking self-indulged to the yeah, but he's open about it. Those people are not dangerous. People that are loud and proud and they air their fucking flaws in public, they're not dangerous. The passive-aggressive. Think about Barack Obama, what he told everybody. You know, he was the African-American, he was the underprivileged, he was the underdog, he was that guy. You know, I like how he faked like he was an athlete, could play basketball, whatever. You know, and then he got out and figured through the first pitch out in Chicago. Oh, my God, you see? Oh, my God, it's beyond laughable. It's sad. It's pathetic. The guy can't walk and chew gum. You know, so, Barry, you on the Harvard basketball team? Why would you say such a thing? Tall, skinny black guy at Harvard Law? Hello, he's not black. Hello, Whitey from Kansas. Look, he's the exact same M.O. as Bill Clinton. Hillary said it herself. I remember a long time ago Hillary talked about Monica Lewinsky fucking thing, which Bill Clinton, you know, he likes girls. You know, he likes girls. He's a sexual predator. There's no doubt. I mean, he's one of the ultimate sexual predators in history, just like his father was. Who was his real father? I mean, that CIA guy that was killed, was that the guy? Who is that guy? Really, who is that guy? So she was asked, and she says, well, I read some books about an abused young man. Abused young men that are sexually abused or physically abused, that's where they go. She's right about that. She understands. Look, it's an arranged marriage between freaking Hillary and him. There's no love between those two. Never was. It's a yell, skull, and bones arranged marriage, just like Ted Cruz's is, just like freaking Teresa Hines and freaking John Kerry. Remember who Teresa Hines is? Remember the first husband, Senator Hines. Yeah, the Hines, the Republican thing who was murdered, killed, in a Wellstone at the same time. Yeah. They're all arranged, skull and bones freaking marriages, which you don't think, that's been going on since the time of man. Look at this arranged marriage between Sheila, Facebook. Look who she is. And she kills her husband in Mexico, Trotsky to the head. They circle the wagons because they own all the media. So the media's going berserk. But here's what the media doesn't get. The 1%, the Forbes, banana fucks, all these fucking idiots are going, they lost the field a long time. People laugh at it. They physically laugh at the New York Times. They laugh at the Washington Post. They laugh at CNBC. They laugh at them. CNN, Fox News, they laugh at them. They're a fucking joke. Everybody knows. They lost that fucking field to the internet a long time ago. And it's over for them. It's completely over. But they're going to hold on to their 1% fucking globalist empire. And it's crumbling. It's fucking crumbling. It's crumbling from within. It's over. They don't know it's over. Donald Trump blew that fucking RNC all to fucking hell. Look at him here. I love it here in Utah, because I was at the Romney event. I was at a staged event. Here's Romney, who's a fucking globalist, fucking rat, fucking 1% creep, fucking mass murdering evil, owns Stericycle, owns fucking all these fucking, 1% fucking looties. They're welfare queens. They're all welfare queens with their hand in the fucking government dime, whether it be a military defense contractor or the nuclear industry, all government welfare. Look, Ted Cruz, look it up. Just Google Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz's father was a political dissident in Cuba. Now look, when Batista was overthrown by a group of guys that's fucking organized at NYU, Washington Square, fucking just a bunch of young 20-year-olds that overthrew the fucking country, Castro and his fucking friends, he fucking was exiled. The CIA exiled. The CIA's number one program in the world was kill Castro. Number one. The number one. They put more money into the Bay of Pigs, fucking all of it, on Balco. Ted Cruz's father was one of those guys. They set up shop in Austin, Texas. Look it up. I mean, it's obvious. It's unarguable. It's like, okay, Lee Harvey. Okay, everybody knows it's fucking factually been fucking disclosed 1 billion times over that Lee Harvey Oswald was CIA. It's unarguable. The gig was set up in Texas, Austin, Texas, to take out which Kennedy was running it, Gio admitted it. His books admitted it. Everybody admitted it, They were trying to kill Castro. I mean, that was a big deal. October 27, 2062, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So that's Ted Cruz's father. Ted Cruz was part of the Batista government. They freaking got overthrown. They had to flee or be killed. That's what happens when you overthrow governments. They kill everybody that was in the cabinets. They freaking execute them. They kill them. That's how it goes. Hello? Fucking... May Brussels, 1980. If the czars had fucking network television, they would still be in power. Well, I got news. They're still in power. Putin, the new czar. So, here they come. The CIA hides them out. That's Ted Cruz's father. There's photographs out there with Cruz's father and Lee Harvey. So he's, the political dissonance there in Canada. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. There's no fucking thing in the Constitution, nowhere ever says that he's totally 100% illegitimate to be president of the United States. 100%. Now, Obama, born in Hawaii, well, who knows? But they had no proof that he was not. He's a whitey from Kansas. I mean, he's from Kansas. His mother worked for the CIA, World Bank, who died of cancer at 52. This is the disrespect for this guy, but let's think about how horribly abused he was. This is what they find. They recruit him, they get him to Harvard Law, just like Bill Clinton, horribly fucking abused as a child by the stepfather. They grew up without fathers. They're fucking late. Now, Bill Clinton's real father, come on. Now, can it be proved? Well, I emailed the fucking sex museum in Vegas, bought the dress for $1 million. I'm like, fuck, let's run some DNA. I always say Rockefeller's baby, Rosemary baby, Russell's baby. He's a globalist fucking rat who hijacked every fucking... Let's think about the hijacking of the fucking Democratic Party. Who did it? Bill Clinton. How did he do it? With Ross Perot. Ross Perot hijacked it. Ross Perot and the Clinton machine worked together. Would the Bush fucking crime family still be occupied? Oh, fuck. H. Bush would have won that second election by 30 fucking points if it wasn't for Ross Perot. Ross Perot was in on the fucking gig. Now, don't you love how Ross Perot talked? He talked really good sense. He talked about tariffs. He talked about whoosh. He called it. Okay, he called it in detail. But isn't it funny how Ross Perot, he's still alive. Ross Perot just completely stood down after he got the damn, because he knew what he was up to. He worked for the Clinton machine, which is Harvard law. The globalist fucking rats run out of fucking England. Rhodes Scholar, Rhodes Scholar, Rhodes Scholar, Rhodes Scholar. Bill Bradley played for the Knicks. Rhodes Scholar, Rhodes Scholar, Scholar. They're fucking all fucking run out of the House of Windsor. Look, the number one thing, the Revolutionary War. I like everybody going to get their gun, patriots, whatever. The Revolutionary War was a tariff war. Look it up. The Tariff Act of 79. Hamilton, the Masonics gathered to fucking together because they were craftsmen. They got tired of cheap goods dumping on. First they come to the craftsmen. He was one of the greatest silversmiths in fucking Revere. They were fucking furniture makers, fucking butchers, fucking bakers, candlestick makers. They were tired of fucking cheap goods being dumped on fucking white Anglo-Saxons living in the fucking colonies for 300 years. Why then? East India Company, jumping cheap Chinese goods on there, dress up like Indians, throw the tea overboard, fucking tariff war. First 8 employees of the United States Marine Corps was, and the Coast Guard, to collect duties at the port. That's right, tariffs. Look, say what you ever want about Trump. Trump's extremely educated when it comes to fucking finance. And he didn't go to one of the fucking globalist rat schools. The globalist rats, neither did I. I went to the number one finance school in the fucking United. I actually taught there. I have the last recognition client, Cooley. They're number one. Oh, we know. Anybody who goes to a finance school fucking knows there's only one fucking tool to break. Only one tool to break the globalist back. Only one. It's been known for fucking thousands of years. It's called the tariff. It's the only way. It's the only possible. That's how this country was formed. This country was formed by the Masonics who broke ranks with the fucking Bank of England, broke their fucking protectionists. Look it up. The Tariff Act of 78 before the Bill of Rights. Look it up. Hamilton, the greatest American. Why do you think the globalist rat Obama wants to take Hamilton off the tent? He took McKinley off, the two fucking tariff guys, both the most powerful tariff guys in the history of the world. Because Barack Obama, the TPP globalist rat that he is. What an insult to a Republican, but this guy's a fucking globalist Republican. Fucking so is Bill Clinton. I mean, no different than the Bush fucking crime family. They were the exact thing. This is the biggest betrayer in human history is Barack Obama. The most evil man will go down in human history because of the cover-up of Fukushima. He's a sick, dumb puppet. So, Barack Obama, his mother is named Stanley. So, they live in Kansas. His mother, banker, world banker. So, all of a sudden, this opportunity comes along when Kauai becomes statehood in 1959. Barack Obama was born in 61. So, they have one child. Now, this is Barack Obama. You wonder where his arrogance comes from? His grandfather. His grandfather was a hardcore abuser, sickening, fucking creepy prick. His name was Stanley Dunham. He had one child, a girl. His arrogance, he named her Stanley. A boy named Sue. He named her Stanley. Not only did he name her that, he required her to freaking go by that name. In school, it's widely reported all the way through. So she's 18, 19. So they move to, they get an opportunity. There's a new, through the World Bank. She's a world banker, the mother. The mother's freaking smart. They moved to freaking Hawaii. So, she has got, do you think she's got daddy issues? Well, let's say your name's Stanley, you're required to use the name Stanley in school. You don't think ridicule, hardcore. That poor woman was so hardcore abused her whole life. Barack Obama abused the living bejesus out of her, still does to this day. Because he watched her father. He watched his grandfather abuse her. He watched the men in his life abuse her. Hardcore abuse. So she meets this black guy, African. There's nothing American about him. He doesn't come from slave flights. He was a Kenyan, where polygamy is legal. He was married and had kids. Polygamy is legal. He was a polygamist. Barack Obama's father, a polygamist. She didn't know. He took advantage of her. She didn't know. Very brilliant, smart, abused female. So he gets pregnant. And why? Most likely. Who knows? Doesn't really matter now, does it? So, I mean, I think Barack Obama went all along with that. I think he created that birther issue. I think he created it, and I think he played along. And the reason he created that birther issue, it took all the energy off who the guy really was. A far-right, neoconservative, globalist, anti-terror, anti-globalist rat. That's who he was. And it took all that energy away. It was the shiny ball syndrome. Fox News, I think he worked in symphony with Fox News together, his puppet, his handlers, and it worked beautifully. And the whole gun, God, gays, freaking, birther issue took the energy off who this guy really was. He's a globalist rat, pro-nuclear, freaking slaughter the earth at all costs, freaking steal freaking money for his owners. So they moved there. So the mother, Stanley, so abused, that poor woman. She finally finds out this guy's a polygamist. She throws his ass out. There's the father. And now think about this poor woman. She got to go back to the abusive father, move back in with mom and dad. She's trying to get her college degrees, working through, her World Bank mother. They work it through bloodlines, just like Snowden says it. Snowden will freely admit to you his mother and father were both CIA. He was placed. That's how it works. It works on bloodlines. That's how the royal system, neo-feudal, it's all bloodlines. That's how it works. That's what neo-feudalism is. That's 1914, we freaking broke all that. That's why they were all killed and slaughtered, and the whole thing in the Atlantic Conference, the bloodlines, and no inherited wealth. Tax rate was 91%, and, we didn't believe in inherited wealth, remember? So, she finds out, she throws his ass out. So, this is the luck this woman's got. Then she's being experimental with her sexuality like so many women were in that generation, especially one that has serious daddy issues, abused female. Same old M.O. She meets a guy from where? Indonesia? At the university. Probably placed there by the World Bank, probably placed there, in the club. Absolutely. That's who these people are. Look, you think you just get a fellowship in India, or you get a fellowship in Indonesia, or whatever. That's the CIA at work. So she meets him. She hooks up with this guy. He has a sister. He has 9 siblings, brothers and sisters. The father ended up with a woman. By the way, the father, Harvard Law. Oh yeah, look it up. Ended up with a woman with a bunch of freaking kids. So he's got a lot of brothers and sisters. So anyway, they moved to where? Indonesia, the greatest slave monarchy royal family in the world, where child abuse is totally legal. Slavery is totally legal. Children can start smoking. Children smoke at 4 or 5 years old down there. It's encouraged. They abuse the children hardcore. Child slavery is not only legal, it is encouraged there. So he moves there. He's horribly abused. Sexually, most likely, but physically horribly abused by the father. So horribly abused that the mother and father step in, the grandparents step in and take the child away. You do know that the child was taken away from the parents by the grandparents through the court system, taken away. So he's taken away from the parents out of Indonesia, the mother, because she knew he was being so hardcore abused. Took him, moved him in with them in Hawaii. Now, remember this, when Obama was elected, right as he was elected, his grandmother who raised him died. Not a tear, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever said. He went there, she died, blah, blah, blah. I never seen such unemotion, but it's really simple to see. This is how abused the abuser becomes the abuser. They know that. So they go along with it. Same with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, hardcore abuse. Hillary's words, not mine. Then they become the abuser. Now, Obama doesn't do it sexuality. Obama does it through drones, through freaking hate, through freaking abuse. And they do it subconsciously. They don't even know they're doing it. This guy he was abused, and he's paying back the world. That's what they do. That's what abused women do. That's what abused people do. That's why the chain of abuse. The abuser becomes the abuser. 99.9% of abusers were abused. That's how this chain works. Fracture, they don't even know they need help. Thus, the chain smoking. He's a chain smoker, which is, again, the whole the whole mantra. They don't even know they're doing it. People have tried to do it to me hundreds of times through my movement, post-ignorance, my movement. Again, people come to me, other artists, other activists. I don't even know who these people are. Come to me and they try to hijack my whole movement. And when they find out they can't do it to me, then they get mad and turn on me. It's called friendship baiting. It's a simple abusive technique that's how they play. And they don't even know they're doing it. They become incredible hardcore freaking control freaks, and they try to hijack other people. They see anybody that's got any momentum, they try to jump in, and it doesn't work. And then they become incredibly frustrated because most of the time it does work. That's the MO. So this guy, and he's not very smart. Everybody thinks he's this intelligent genius dynamic, and I think he has some intelligence about it. Don't get me wrong, but educational-wise, no. And I can prove it. So he's propped up at Harvard Law, doesn't even know he's being propped up by the nuclear industry. Not my words again, Hillary's words. The pot calling the kettle black. Go back to Hillary Clinton and look it up. Swing states, in 2008, she's running attack ads at him saying he's propped up by the nuclear industry. At the exact same moment he's being propped up by the nuclear industry, he gives a speech in Illinois. An activist asked him, a real activist, about Hanford. And he says, you won't hear this from other candidates, but I don't know what Hanford is, but I will find out. And I'm sure he found out, and he knows that, what a learning education he's been. Green as grass, this guy. But he's gone along. He says it. You've heard him say it. Just like Bush said it. Well, I'm going to follow the Clinton playbook when I get out. I'm going to follow the Clinton playbook. Because it's simple. You become president. They get you while you're green. They play you just like they did. They play freaking Bill Clinton, too, through sexuality, whatever, and then he learns the game. But he was being played by Hillary and that whole freaking thing. And then he learns along that and he goes along. They want tall men from broken families without fathers who are freaking abused. That's who they want because they know the abuser will become the abuser, and that's what they're into because this is about, they like it just the way it is. People say they're going to do this, that, the other thing. They already got it. Mission accomplished. They have total control. They've looted the country at every single aspect. And the very same people, though, it's like I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's bitching about he lost his GM thing. And I said, well, fuck, you were a Republican in all those years when the Republican mantra was fucking, Newt Gingrich and these guys to fucking gut fucking labor. That was their number one agenda. When they took the office in 94 and their leader, Bill Clinton, went along at NAFTA, and you're bitching that you lost your GM fucking job? You fucking voted for these that fucking took your GM fucking job. And everybody gets caught up in presidential politics. What about your congressman? What about your fucking senator? You voted for these fuckers that fucking took your job at the local level. You went along with it because Johnny's got his gun. They're going to take my gun. Go get the fucking shiny gun god gay. They know this. They play. The whole gun issue, the sexuality issue, the whole God issue they know this is social engineering. There are emotional hot big things that work on fucking people that are fucking not fucking, that have not strong educations, who have not had time to fucking do whatever. They might have some good intuitive sense, but it's been fucking co-opted. It gets them emotional. The race baiting, the religious baiting, the fear-mongering. It comes down simply. What was that great quote? I believe it Katie said it. The human psyche basically comes down to two fucking things. Fear and greed. And there you go. And fear trumps greed. So America's country of cowards, and they play that because the more freaking down and out people become the more paranoid they become, the more fear they become. It works. And they've got themselves. I don't think anybody orchestrated 9/11 believed that it could fucking possibly work to this degree. Nobody could believe that it worked. No, it exposed the coward complex of fucking America. United States of America, what cowards this country is. It really exposed. Fuck, if that had happened 34 years ago, it would have been blown up like a fucking flea. Yeah, whoopee, fuck this, so what? We go on with our lives. That's how the United States was. They're very self-confident. They were anti-nationalists. They didn't flag look, the whole Star-Spangled Banner, this Flavin Wagon, fucking sports fans, fucking, that's all manufactured shit in the last 50, 60 years. Really lasting 30. We're going to stand up fucking the flag. Now look at these sporting events now. They have flyovers, the Pentagon Bowl, which is the Super. My favorite is fucking Pat Tillman. They murder Pat Tillman, ordered execution, murder from the fucking White House, and they grandstand him, have camouflage uniforms or whatever on fucking Pat Tillman. And then people go along with it. That's how fucking hypnotized. Oh, look, a guy comes to a coffee shop, whatever, and his fatigue's on. Oh, hero, thank you. They clap, they cheer, and these guys are looking like, fuck, I work out at the base, I'm in the reserves, I don't do anything. Fucking, what the fuck are they thinking of themselves? This is how hypnotized, how cowards they are. It's like, you look it up, the Republican war fucking heroes, which is Democratic war heroes, but look them up. Ted fucking Nugent, you got to confirm he pissed and shit himself. You know, fucking, you go all these fucking war criminals, Rumsfeld, Cheney, fucking Bush, everyone in draft dodgers, none of them ever bled. Because they're cowards. As long as somebody else is doing the fucking dirt, go kill him. Yeah, I would have killed a lot of people. Yeah. You know, it's just like you got the fucking gun, whatever. I'm going to protect my domain. Oh, yeah? Okay. Number one, nobody wants Walmart junk out of your fucking house. Someone gives a fuck about your shit. Any of you, look, do you understand? I don't think anybody has understand the lethal force of fucking these things. And what it will do to, look, what is the percentage of population that is truly a sociopath? Less than 1%. So, you got the gun. You really want to kill a person? You know, and most of them are stakes. People who's drunk, coming to the wrong house, whatever. Do you know what that does to the human psychic? Do you know what kind of fucking thing that is? Oh, just give it. You know, that's all gang talk that's inside of a fucking, when you're out in public with your other gang, whether you're a motorcycle gang, whether you're a freaking, you know, this gang mentality, a bunch of white guys sitting around a coffee fucking shop, it's a gang, or freaking black people, or brown people, or women, whatever, this gang mentality. But you know, on an individual basis, when you're alone and you actually kill another human being, I like how this country says fucking, they'll say something like 90% of the United States population will say that they are some sort of Christian. Thou shalt not kill. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's the foundation of Christianity, the story of Jesus Christ. So, you kill someone. Look at the fucking Nam vets. Look at the Korean vets. I do so much work with the VA, and I do so much work, always have, with the fucking vets. The atomic veterans, whatever. I've been involved in that group forever. My great friend Bobby Kodrova just passed, who did so much great work. A fucking Bronze Star guy. Sat with them. We do a lot of work with these guys because they get tricked and they know it. Look, when these guys come home and they understand they've been fucking had, this is a tough fucking gig. It's not their fault. It is not their fault. And so we have to go and try to convince them it's not their fault, that they murdered people for no reason. They got them geeked up and they just blew people's fucking heads off. Let the human cycle handle that. Let the human fucking psyche, even if you fuck someone in a just thing, study after study is really what it does to the human psychic. Because in their core belief, your jewel, they call it, you know, the Hindus call it the jewel. You know, it's there. It's there to take another fucking life for every fucking person. It's like, that's called the intuitive. That's called fucking common law. Hell no. It's the ultimate. Under any circumstance, so you lose your jewel. You lose your fucking jewel. You live your fucking life. You start taking other fucking, well, even fucking in the animal complex, you start taking lives just for the fucking joy of taking a life. Something happens to you. You lose your jewel. It's like Obama sitting there droning people, innocent people, he's lost his jewel. Then you become evil. It's simple complex between good and evil. You know, whether you're native, you're Hindu, you're Judas, you're freaking, you know, whatever. There it is right there. As soon as you start taking, you know, look, get tricked. Military personnel get tricked. Look, you're in the military, you're here. No, you're not. You're a corporate fucking mercenary. You're a mercenary. You get paid. They're paid to work for these corporate freaking global centrists. That's all they are. Know that. They've been tricked by their family, their church leader, the television, whatever. They've been tricked. I'll tell you a great story about the whole. You know, I'm a peace activist, but I believe in peace. Somebody punches me in the face, I'm going to knock them the fuck out. You know, the other side, it was like, let them punch you, let them kick you, whatever, and then just, you know, you're going to Gandhi out. Huh. Not me. You know, if somebody punches me in the face, I'm going to knock them the fuck out. It's like the nuclear industry. Simple. And I'm a peace activist. I believe in peace. I don't believe in violence. I would never fucking attack another fucking person. I don't believe, even if they're on the other side of the issue and they're fucking completely insane, I don't believe in violence. I believe that they will get their dues. I believe that, I believe like Martin Luther King believed. I love his line about the arc of justice. You know, which was said even before him, and Dr. King was so good. There were a lot of preachers before him that led up to him, that he was so good. You know, I really loved his line of the arc of justice. It's long, but I do believe in it. I believe that's what our life is. Now, they're not going to take my jewel. I made mistakes in my life. Don't get me wrong, especially as a kid and whatever. And I made a lot of dumb mistakes when I was a kid. I didn't know any better, and I was a smart kid, but, I learned very quickly because I've always listened to my light. One thing with me being autistic and being in the nuclear thing, every time that I've not listened to my light, my jewel, my intuitive fucking sense, and I have a powerful intuitive fucking sense, always have, and it's always right. It's always been right. I always show I can see the future, which when I was young I could. Did I create it? Whatever, I don't know, but because I listened to my light, and when I didn't listen to my light, and I tried to fight it, it caused me major problems. Because listening to that light and that jewel is hardcore. It's like, fuck, it violates what you fucking think, whether it be your relationship with your, spouse or business or whatever. You're brought up when you got all these forces posturing you and grunting, and the light saying the opposite. The light's right. And so I've always listened to it. And intuitively, violence is wrong. Scars across my face. I mean, I've almost been killed multiple times. I would never attack another human being under any circumstances. Look, I'll call people out in the aggregate, but when they attack me, I'm going to fight. It's like my father murdered by the nuclear cartel. He was planned murder, drafted Marine, murder in Nevada. Then I get leukemia. I remember. I was so violated when he died. Like these motherfuckers. My light, I've always encouraged the ultimate. My light told me that from very young. Yet my first memories, I knew it. I didn't have to be taught it. My light knew it inside my jewel. I was born with it, and the sun put it in me, and it was there. It was always there. I knew how wrong. And then when I got leukemia, I was so violated. I'm like, when do you just finally say fuck you and throw down? How long do you let the bully kick you in the fucking face? And then finally you say fuck you. He's kicking you. He's slugging you. When do you finally just knock that fucker out? That's what I said. When I got leukemia, I remember when I was diagnosed, I was like, going through this whole pain. I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers. This is it. This is it. That's it. The fucking line's drawn. I'm fighting these motherfuckers to the death. Whether they kill me, they kill me. But they fucking first blood. They beyond drew first blood. And they just can kick in their passive-aggressive way. I'm fighting these motherfuckers to the death. I'm going to use every tool that fucking I was born with, learned my incredible fucking long, historic journey. Whether it be my education, my parenting, my fucking parents, my grandparents, this landscape, the environment, the birds, the fucking trees, everything to breathe this into me, my fucking hard work. I'm going to use it all. And I do. I'm taking these fucking evil fucking rats fucking down. One teeny fucking chip at a time. I'm toppling this fucking man-made fucking pyramid with a fucking chip on a hammer. I don't need power tools. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way because it's the only way it could ever do. So the fake activists, don't get me wrong, Helen Caldicott, she is who she is, and she's done a lot of incredible things with her life. What an accomplished woman. A major accomplished woman. Doctor, everything, but for the anti-nuclear amendment, she's done it no good. She's done it opposite. This is John Hurley's very words. I gave the first inaugural speech at the Million Mass March because I was asked to. I personally arranged the entire police escort that the Million Mass March is. That's all my doings. All my doings. I personally arranged all that. I gave him that speech. John Hurley happened to be in the park. I don't know if he came to see me, listen to me, whatever, but he was there. This is the head of the National freaking Press Corps that runs the Supreme Court. He's a proud line who knows more than anyone. Had a long talk with me. So the long talk he had with me, he said it to me. This is his words. He said, Kevin, anti-nuclearism, let me tell you about anti-nuclearism in the Beltway. He says, there's a guy named Kevin Camps, him and his wife. He says, you go to any party in the Beltway, they're there. He says, anytime you show up to a party in the Beltway or everything, he says, I'm telling you, you run. Anybody you see at one or two things, he says, most likely they're CIA. Most likely they were. He says, that guy's not anti-nuclear. I says, I know that. He says, they make a lot of money. They're Beltway establishment in the club. That's who they are. So is Beyond Nuclear. That's who they are. You do understand that, Kevin. That's what he said to me. This is the guy, head of the national. And then he said to me, this is head of the National Press Corps for how many decades? I mean, how many presidents personally? And he says, Kevin, let me tell you something. I grew up in Mississippi. When I was a boy, my daddy told me, you beware of men in white hoods and white robes. He says, after being head of the National Press Corps, I'm here to tell you, you beware of men in black robes with gold trim. That's what he said. Kevin Camps, Paul Geithner, freaking, he's on their show, that they're in the Beltway. This is all about their establishment, their money. They're a fucking joke. They've hurt this fucking movement more than they've ever done it. Arnie Gundershield, he works for the other side, and I can prove it. He's not anti-nuclear. No, he's about, he's a pacifist who, false equivalence worth of, the king of the top of the heap that's hurt this movement more than any person on earth is Chris Busby. Chris Busby works for the nuclear, right out of the queen. Now, look, they get the platform, and what do they say? Chris Busby gets the platform after Fukushima on RT on the national stage. What did he say? Oh, the ocean's a big place, it'll glue. That's what he said. Arnie Gunderson said it's not a nuclear meltdown, it's a hydrogen blast, that's all it is. I mean, how is that even possible? These morons say that shit. Helen Caldicott told me who she treated me very poorly. She knows very personally. At her symposium, we had that whole thing. She treated me very poorly. I sat there with no Nazi the whole freaking time, both of us together, our group. She treated us very poorly. She wasn't even there the whole thing. Wouldn't let anybody sock the word Fukushima. For real. Maui treated me very poorly. All of them treated me very poorly because they know I'm the real thing, and they know that they're about the money. They're false equivalency. It's that simple. And I really don't give a fuck what any of them think. Look, you think about the failure of the anti-nuclear movement from 1982 to into the 2000s. You think about the failure. I watched the failure. How are they getting it back? I watch this passive-aggressive, come by, yeah, hold hands, let's have a drum circle, don't raise your voice, bro, catch a good vibe. Exactly what they wanted. Really afraid. They laughed at us. They called us tree huggers. They called us pussies. They called us pacifists. They made fun of us. They laughed, and we didn't fight back. I fought back. That fucking intense what I was on an island, and the entire anti-nuclear set pushed it away. Well, you two come along. I knew I had a fucking chance. And I says, watch this, fuckers, because they fear me. Look, the anti-nuclear movement, the human rights activist movement is really, it's a teeny handful of people versus a teeny fucking several hundred, several thousand people. The fucking masses mean shit. They're never going to accomplish anything in their fucking in their grandstands. They're not going to. So you have to fucking be very tactical. You have to pinpoint. You have to go, and that's what I do. Like, I know, for instance, it looks like Energy Solutions the fuck out of Utah. That's the word I got from the governor's office yesterday. It's a major accomplishment. And the governor's office and everybody who knows will tell you one person, Kevin Blanch. They'll tell you the only guy that fought back was him. So I knew who the fucking head of these fucking groups were. The government employees, I knew who the fucking Energy Solutions are. I pinpointed them on an individual basis. I went right to them. I exposed their malice. I exposed their fucking lies. I went right at them. Inside the Capitol, videotaped them right and exposed their malice, exposed their lies, exposed the fake funding on Blue Castle freaking hedge fund, let dog, exposed it on an individual basis in very minute and incredible detail. There's a small group of people, me versus them. So I went at them, and I used YouTube to expose them into the public domain. Legally. Once they go into the public domain, then I'll move into the public domain. It's totally legal to expose them. And I've exposed them. They're afraid because these people are afraid of one thing. They're afraid of jail. They're not afraid of funds. They're not afraid of money because they've been able to loot, and they have all the money. They're not afraid of fucking guns. I mean, they laugh at the whole gun thing, but I'll tell you why, because they have the military-industrialized complex on their side, which the technology that they have is over the top and so incredible. Well, my line is, take your freaking gun and go out to Speed Week. You know, it's just like the FLDS today. By the way, so you know, the world's over tomorrow. FLS, and all southern Utah has that same mentality. The whole Bundy clan, freaking, look, all of them, they have that mentality. And then they say they're ranchers. They're not ranchers. They're government welfare mooches. They're racist, they're bigots, they welfare mooch, they're haters. Look, the Mormon mentality says this. And it's written in their dog. I grow up, I could quote you the freaking Book of Mormon upside down and the Bible. I grew up in a very freaking fundamental freaking Mormon city. Not my parents, but the grandparents that I lived in. We were required to do this at a very young age. The Mormons believe this. This is their freaking fundamental foundation belief. Number one, they believe that every single person on earth is going to hell but them. That's why they baptize for the dead. I mean, this is the arrogance. They believe if you have any color in your skin, you're born with any color, even a little bit of brown, black, white, you're going to hell. It's the curse. You can't get in. They believe women are not getting unless they ask you to come in, and they believe in, look, they get their own planet. So they believe that is the arrogance. They're hard. The most racist people on the face of the earth are Mormons. It's an unarguable fact. They hate everybody and everything, but then they believe everything's for them. They believe the planet's here to rape, pillage, and exploit, and then they get their own freaking virgins. Look, they believe the exact same thing the prophet Abraham that has spun into the Muslim belief system, Joseph Smith's words, which he stole it all. Joseph Smith stole a lot of doctrine from the Quran. He took all these different books and he incorporated them and he put them together. They stole everything from the Masonic, all their temple rich, all of it. That's all it is. But there's a big component to this, which Mitt Romney is their God. Mitt Romney is their leader. And they believe what they call the White Horse Prophecy. Every single Mormon runs for president, including Joseph Smith. They believe that the country's going to hell, the place is going to hell. Then they believe that Native Americans are the lost tribe, and they're really freaking Israelites, which is total bullshit. Been proven to them. They believe they're 4,000 years old. They believe Garden Eden is in freaking Missouri. They believe that women are inferior beings. They believe that they have to be called men. They believe that white men, and they believe in the hierarchy of money and obtain money at any cost. That's who they are. So you get it's the Southern Utah Foundation, and somehow they've incorporated the gun, which spills across all dynamics. And I don't give a fuck how many fucking guns you own. I can give a fuck. You sit around, lick your fucking barrel, me, on your kitchen fucking table, because that's what you're going to do. So you're going to rally. I get these calls all the time. Oh, we want to rally. We're going to freaking be armed. Well, count me out. Because all that's going to do is give people, it's going to give the military industrial complex reason and justification to kill innocent people. So you do an armed militia march. A lot of your group's going to be unarmed. That's going to give the military some trust. What are you going to do? You're going to take on the United States military industrialized complex, the greatest force in the history of humanity, with technology that you don't even know exists, that can, from a plane from outer space you can't even see, you can't hear, can drop a fucking laser in your fucking, and zap you from outer space. That's who you're up against. These people are so well trained, so incredibly freaking trained, because they have all the money. The technology they have is freaking so over the top. So how you're going to take that on with a gun? No, you're not. They're going to kill you, and they're going to laugh when they kill you, and they're going to zap you and turn you, and it's over, done. It's zero. Goodbye. You've been watching too many old fucking John Wayne movies. That's gone out with the wild, which didn't exist anyway. This whole mantra that I grew up on the very first fucking ranch, and this whole fucking thing that my great-great-grandparents, I still live on that. The very earliest fucking ranchers here who lived in harmony with the natives. The only reason my family was the only family that was here for a long time in the West. Because they got along with freaking the Utes and the Shoshone, with Little Soldier. He spoke my great-great-grandfather spoke all 5 tribes' languages. All 5. Polygamous? Yep. Pretty amazing, this path, this journey. These fucking guys, it didn't exist like that. This whole shoot 'em up, gangbang, OK Corral is all Hollywood. That's not how these people lived. These early fucking ranchers, they were in symphony with the landscape. When I grew up, you worshiped the landscape, you worshiped the animals. If you killed something, which very few people didn't have handguns. Yeah, they had a Browning fucking 30 fucking rifle, you know, that they would go hunting with if they did go hunting. And if they killed somebody, oh boy, did they eat it, all of it. I mean, all of it. You know, they had very native because they came out west. They got tricked by missionaries. They got tricked by people in Europe in the crowded cities. They came here and realized it was all a lie, and then they realized that the natives got it. So a lot of the fucking Western plight was incorporated into the native belief system. You know, it wasn't just all go kill a bunch. I mean, it was horrible and it was ugly to watch these globalists just fucking pillage this fucking great fucking continent, this incredible fucking land, the last bastion in the Pacific Ocean. Now they get it. Kill the whales, kill the sea turtles. They pulled it off. Mission accomplished. So how do you break it? You know, is it too late? Yeah, most likely. But your jewel, your light, you got to keep it going. You got to keep that ongoing. And how do you keep it on? You have to fracture it from within. You have to appeal to their conscience. They're not all sociopaths. They've been fucking tricked in their hairsprayed masquerade fucking party. Join the fucking military. Work your fucking way up. People kiss your boots, lick your boots, worship you. These fucking freaks become addicted to it. General Petraeus. Look at that fucking rat. Look at that girl that fucking was having sex with him. I mean, talk about. That's got to be one of the most disgusting, grotesque females in the history of mankind. General Petraeus, McChrystal, they murdered Pat Tillman. You do know they fucking murdered him. Now think about that. Most famous man in America was ordered execution, murdered. And you worship these boot-looking motherfuckers, not me. Fucking them. You know, so we fracture it from within. It's the only way. The only way is the military says, fuck this. Police force says, fuck this. This is repressing our people. We're supposed to be police, not law enforcement. What am I doing? The only hope, that's the only hope, to get a fucking Teddy Roosevelt. You know, you can say whatever you want about fucking Trump, all you want. Is he a racist? I don't think so. I think a lot of his supporters are. I think, is he I don't think so. I mean, you hear his children talking and everything, and they said he's a family. Now, granted, he's done some fucked up things in his life. I mean, and he's narcissistic, he's loving himself, but the media, look what they're doing. Ted fucking Cruz. I saw in Wisconsin, the making of a mass murder. The people in Wisconsin are the most insane people on the face of the earth. If you haven't seen Making of a Fucking Murder, you got to see it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. They just passed a law to give, there's a moratorium in Wisconsin, Bill Nuclear Act for 34 years. They overturned it. The making of a mass murder. They're insane people. The most insane people in the world are fucking Wisconsin. There's a big article now, 6 radio fucking hosts going after Trump. So to go after Trump on the Republican, that means you support this Republican Party. You support what the Republican Party's meant for the last 30 years. This globalist rat who looted this country, fucking gutted it, took all the fucking jobs into fucking China, poisoned the fucking environment. That's who they are. So you just fucking say Trump's blowing it up. So you go against Trump and you're going pro Cruz, whatever. So that's what you're saying. So that's who you are. You support those sick rats. Just like here in the Mormon Church. How can they go along with fucking Cruz now? And they hate it. Oh, no, they're all fucking drunk for because they can't think for themselves. They let the media think for themselves. They let the fucking globalist rats lead them like the fucking fainting goats. That's exactly what Trump has been able to accomplish. He's an historical figure. Oh, remember Deeds when he blew it up? Deeds, he got 6% of the fucking vote from prison. Teddy never fucking won. Teddy became president. He was named because he hated him, McKinley. McKinley was murdered by the Queen. For I am the great tariff president standing on the tariff platform. William McKinley. Why in God's name would fucking Barack Obama, of all the mountains, all the cities, of everything across this country is named after presidents, an assassinated United States president, an act of Congress named Mount McKinley, Why would the next door, which is illegal, what all the things he could change, freaking counties, cities, let's change Nebraska, let's change all of them. Why would he pick that one? Because he's a globalist rat, being what to do by his hand. He's still stupid. He doesn't even know he's been played. Just this conversation on Thursday. Wake up, fucking idiots. Wake up, fucking morons. You're being played. Johnny got his gun. It's giving you a reason to kill yourself. I mean, do not show up to these marches where they're
all nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical.